Hey guys, it's Zach at Underground Prints again. I brought a pocket press home just to show you how easy it is to use and how you really can use it anywhere. This is basically the kit. This is pretty much what you'll get in the mail when you order your kit. First you have squeegee, ink scoop, pretty self-explanatory. And you have the ink. Now the ink is a water-based ink and it's good for printing on fabric, paper, and wood. And it will cure with a little bit of heat, and on paper it'll just dry by air. So it's really awesome stuff, and it cleans up with just water, and there's no fumes or anything like that. So it's really good stuff. And then of course we have our screens, which we talked about earlier. This one I threw together. I thought it was kind of a cool design, maybe good for patches. And this is our pocket press logo that we're probably gonna try and make some patches with today. And then of course we have the actual pocket press. So, let's try and make some patches with this screen here. It's really easy. Just unscrew this clamp here. Kind of align it like so. Tighten it right down. Don't want to tighten it too much, because there's some rubber here that'll kind of hold it in place. Now let's take our fabric, put it on our board like so. Now sometimes, actually most of the time, you'll need some sort of spray adhesive to keep whatever you're printing on in place while you're printing. For today's demo I don't have any. Sometimes you can even use hairspray, but I didn't even have any of that. So we're just going to kind of put it straight on the board and see what happens. And of course we need our ink. Ink scoop. Grab just a little bit. We really don't need too much. That's another good thing about the pocket press, is that everything's small, including the amount of ink that you use, which is going to save you money. Now a good tip for ink is try and get an even amount across the image area as well as you can. That way you don't run out of ink in one small spot of the image before everything else. And you always want the ink to go over the image area too, just to provide a little bit of lubrication for the squeegee, even if there's nothing to print there. It just helps things go a lot smoother. Now that this is out of the way, we can grab our squeegee, and we're going to do what I call a fill stroke. All it simply is taking the ink that we've put down and filling our image area. And all this is doing is putting ink into the screen, into the image area. See, we can see it clearly now. What was once white from the mesh is now black because there's ink in it. And then all we have to do is do our pass stroke, which is basically going to push the ink that we put into there onto our patch fabric. Okay, simple as that. Let's see if it stayed aligned, and it did. So it's as simple as that. We just created a single patch using our pocket press system in literally a matter of seconds on a kitchen table, not in any kind of crazy printing room or anything. And with this, you can let this dry by air, or you can let this dry with a heat gun. Helps a lot too. This is a pretty small patch. It's a pretty small design, so you can cut this down to size. So what I'm going to do is try and print another patch with our bigger screen here, just to kind of give you the size of how large you can go with such a small printing platform. Okay, so we just finished printing our little patch here with this screen, and now, as we were talking about, going to move over to this bigger design, and you can really see the difference in sizes now. So take this off here, slide this over, put this off to the side. Same thing, same exact process as last time. Put it on. Move this out of the way here. We'll grab bigger piece. And again, this is without any adhesive, so we'll see how well the image area stays aligned here. I think it'll be okay. We have our squeegee. We repeat the same exact process. Just take our ink, do our best to get it evenly across the entire image area, including out of the image area. That way, again, we have some lubrication for the squeegee to go easily off of it. Okay, that's done. And then we do the exact same thing. Remember, this is called our fill stroke. See, now we can see what was once white because of the mesh. We can now see that it is now black because we've pushed our ink into it. We'll do one more fill stroke. And now we can print. Just apply a little bit of pressure. Bring the squeegee down over it. And let's see how this looks. Looks pretty good. And so we can see when we compare the sizes to a much larger image to a much smaller image. And on these tiny screens we can go even a little bit bigger than this if we wanted to. So you can get some pretty decent sized prints with this. And this is pretty much a ready to go patch. Now we talked a little bit before about drying and curing options. And there's a difference between drying and curing. Drying is basically kind of letting it dry as you go on paper. If you wanted to print this on paper, you could just let it dry out in the sun or just on your table for a few hours. Now when you're printing on fabric with this ink, it will dry by air, but in order to cure, basically curing means is that you can wash it. So if you print a back print or something on a t-shirt, or you print, something on the sleeve or whatnot, that you're going to want to cure. And to cure this ink, you need to do it with heat. Now it's a lot simpler than it sounds. In my shop, I'll use a little heat gun, which you can get at Lowe's or Home Depot for 25 bucks, or you can use something as simple as a hair dryer, and that will cure the ink and basically let it set, and that's not going to wash out. So it makes it really super permanent. And basically the last part of this whole little system is cleaning up, which is pretty self-explanatory, but I got ink on me, so I'm going to use this patch to clean myself. But cleaning's really important. So we take our ink scoop, if we have any kind of excess ink left here, do a little something like this to get it off. Take our squeegee, usually we'll have some extra ink left on here, and again, like we talked about, a benefit of having such small screens and small designs is you use very little ink. I mean, you can see that this is, I don't even know, like barely full, and this ink would last for 50 to 100 patches with just this small amount of ink, and that's big savings. And as we said before, it cleans up with just water. All you need is water. This is not pet odor neutralizer, it's just a reusable bottle because I like the way it sprays. Okay, and let's take a paper towel. Normally I would suggest not using a paper towel because if it gets really wet, there's little fibers in it that can sometimes get stuck in your screen. But I don't have anything else right now, so this is going to be fine. And it's really simple. Once you get it wet, just kind of fluff the water in, I guess, basically, and then go a little bit harder, and you'll see it dry. And the way that this screen is made, it's made with an emulsion that's specifically made to hold up to water-based inks and water, meaning you can use this screen and clean this screen hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times before anything wrong happens to it. And that's awesome. And that right there is a clean screen. Say we're done printing, take this off, put it with our other screen, put this lamp down, squeegee. This isn't clean yet, but you get the idea. Ink. And that's the entire Pocket Press kit. Ready to go somewhere else, print somewhere else, and yeah, that's it.